Well, hi. I saw something this morning I just wanted to show you. So I'm out here with my coffee and everything, but let me flip this. This is how I know the squirrel's been trying to get to the feed. See where that tool is on the pole? That tells me that the squirrel's been out here and he tried to climb the pole. And in doing it, the tool is to the ground. Just about tear up the whole bottom of it. Yeah, that's how I know the squirrel's been here. The tool is to the ground. Some fresh seed up there. Yeah, I don't know what to do about it. If I stop them from climbing the pole, they jump from the ground up to the feeder. I don't know of a way to raise the feeder any higher than what it is, because they don't make poles to hang them on any taller than that. I'd have to get some kind of pole that was taller, and I don't know what kind of pole that would be. But those little guys are resourceful, I tell you. I don't know how far that is from the ground. Let me flip. I'm going to stand here. Because I'm 5'2". And it's right almost at my head, my eye level. It's above eye level. It's almost to the top of my head. So the pole is probably 6 foot tall, counted in the ground. I don't know how far the actual feeder is from the ground, but it drops down about a foot, 2 feet maybe. So it's probably only 4 foot from the ground. So I definitely need to figure out some way to get it up higher, because they do jump up on it. I've seen them do it. I videoed it. So, but I was out here wanting everybody to see all my plants this morning bright and early before it gets so hot. You got the wishing well out there and other rose bushes. I got a moonflower, or I had a moonflower that opened. Got another one that's fixing to open. It'll probably open tomorrow, or it may open tonight. Because you know they open about just before dark. You see right there? That's a moonflower pod fixing to open. That's going to be a gigantic moonflower. And I've got blooms on my squash or my melon plant. I think that's a squash plant. Because I think I put a squash and a cucumber out here just to see what it would do. Yeah, it looks so much better out here since I mowed, cut all the weeds. Now, the other day I come out here, and that tool on that pole was down. So I know they were had been getting up on that one, or tried to. just wanted you to see this morning how fresh everything looks. I'm going to set this cup for the bird feed inside the door. And I'm going to get my coffee. Yeah, this is my morning cup of coffee that I'm going to take with me. Oh, and look at my little seedlings. See, since I moved them to partial shade, and since I put that 2 inches of potting mix in the top, the worm or the bugs or anything haven't messed with them. And I went ahead and watered them with a little bit of that insecticide, just like I watered the rest of the garden. So y'all, I'm going to have, look at all those basil plants right there. I'm going to have a ton of them to put in the garden. Look at all those tomato plants over there coming up. And right here, my yellow pear tomatoes. And of course, the 4 or 5 squash plants I got there. So, I'm tickled to death over that. But that sun is, hold on just a second. Let me raise this camera up just a tiny bit. So when I'm walking, you're not looking at the ground. But see the roses? I mean, it looks good first thing in the morning. My okra out here. I got okra planted in those 2 half barrel planters. My plant, since I put the shade cloth up. I mean, it looks to me like the insecticide's going to help my plants. Oh, and I see an okra out there. I missed that one. He's growing right up along beside the... Well, I can't get over there to it, and I got my cup in my hand. But I got an okra over there I need to pick. But there's my squash plant. It doesn't look any worse. So, hopefully that insecticide has killed the creepy crawlers that have been getting to it. And maybe it'll survive. I left the stem of that one down here in the bucket. So, maybe the plant will come back from the roots. Hopefully. Sometimes they will. Watermelon. I mean, it may not save all of them because some of them, those borers may have gotten to so much that the plant's gone anyway. But, hey, we can save what we can save. And you know what? One of my buckets is turned over. Let me get that straight. Need to get a bigger rock in it, I guess. But, and look at the cucumber up there. It looks like it's going to survive. Maybe I'll get, I got more coming on there. There's another little one. I don't know if you can see it. There's another little one up there. But the winter squash is looking good. The insecticide, if it was going to kill it, I think it would have been all wilted down by now. But it's looking good. And look at this. It's perked right up. And I got more squash right here. I'm not squash, but okra that I got to cut. I don't know if you can see that okra. But I got 2 okras there that need to be cut. I got a bell pepper, look at there. And there's a little bell pepper up there. So I'm getting me some bell pepper, y'all. Just started. And I'm getting winter squash in here. Look at that. I got another one down there, kind of a wonky looking one. But look at my cucumbers. They're looking good. That insecticide didn't hurt them. It's going to do them some good. It'll kill those bugs that are after them, and hopefully I'll have a lot more cucumbers. There's a cucumber right there. I didn't see it the other day. I'm going to have to come back out here and get that when I get my okra. But yeah, it's doing some good. And you can see I went ahead and tied my shade cloth on one side up to the canopy. It's kind of low, but it's tall enough that I can walk under it. And I'm the only person I care about. And look at my buckets here, y'all. I put that insecticide to everything that I've got planted out here. And they're just looking better for it, so. And there was a a tomato worm, hornworm, got on this plant. I don't see him, but I can see where he's been eating leaves. So hopefully the insecticide will keep him away from there. And he'll keep him away from the rest of my plants. Still got to stake this one because it's getting blooms. That means it's going to have tomatoes. But see, all of it's looking good after I put that insecticide on. So I don't think you got to be afraid that it's going to kill your plants. And see, I was afraid I was going to lose this one because I did lose the other one in that other orange pot down there to that old squash borer or whatever he's called. And look at the little pepper plants. They're thriving since I watered them with that insecticide. I mean, just look at everything. Everything is thriving this morning. And it's been a good 24 hours or more that I put that poison out. So if it was going to kill my plants, they'd be drooped over by now. All my tomatoes. Some things, their leaves are a little drooped, but it's because of the heat. Look at my marigolds. All that stuff we planted in the cinder blocks. Look at there. There's another okra. I got to come back out here in a little bit and cut the okra. I may have okra today. May have okra today. But I got some in the house that I picked the other day. And I really need to wait a day or two before I cut any more okra, but if I don't cut it, it's going to be too tough. Look at that. Got a big old cucumber at the top up there. I already picked one. Look up there. It's a cucumber, y'all. It's a funny looking one, but it's a cucumber. And there's little buddy. He's here this morning with me. I got to get over here to the table and put this coffee down. It's so heavy, it's about to break my finger. Whew. Oh my goodness. I'm sweating already, y'all. Oh goodness. Sit here just a minute and cool off a tiny bit. Just walking around the yard in this heat. You have not lived in the heat until you've experienced Texas heat. See, little buddy knows what to do. to take care of the heat. He just lays right there and cools his belly off on the concrete. He's something else. Yep, he's something else. Oh, goodness. Goodness, goodness, goodness. Well, my neighbors may be gone for a couple of days. They've already got their garbage can out beside the street, and our garbage don't pick up till Wednesday. This is Monday, so they must not going to be here till Wednesday or later. I hear somebody mowing. Oh, too hot on the birds even this morning. I don't hear the birds chirping. Don't hear the squirrels arguing either. But yeah, I wanted to get out here before it got too extremely hot, because I wanted to show you that my plants are fine. I need to get this a little further back. I want you to see little buddy and me both, and I can't do that where it was. There. Hopefully you can hear me. Bloomin' had sent me a microphone, but it was for it wouldn't work on my phone. So I had to send it back. She's supposed to get me one that'll work on my phone and resend it to me. Now, after all that, you're gonna move. After all that, getting that camera set up, you're gonna move. After getting the camera set up, you're gonna move, huh, little buddy? I don't believe it. Look at that. But you can still see him, I think. He says, I know how to cool my belly off. Yeah, he knows how to cool his belly off. Whew. Y'all, all I've done is walk around the yard for a minute and just carry the camera and a cup of coffee and show y'all how good everything looked first thing this morning. And I'm sweating. I mean, it's just dripping off of me. Finally, I hear some birds and I hear a couple of squirrels. Whew. Yeah, I tell you, anybody's crazy if they pay to go sit in the sauna. All they got to do is go outside and sit in the yard. Even in the shade, you're going to sweat. Buddy knows that. Little buddy knows that's true. That's why he lays like that. Puts his belly down on that cool concrete and cools off. I've been wanting to go down to the lake, go fishing a little bit. Don't know if I can handle the heat down there. They cut most of the trees down so you don't have any shade to get under to fish anymore. He got his breakfast a little while ago. He ate a little bit, not much. He's probably ate somewhere else this morning. before he ever came over here. Whew. Yeah, I think I got my computer problem taken care of. I think it was Google Chrome that was causing me the problem. When you got that Microsoft Edge, which is Windows 10 on your computer, it tries to take over, and it's got its own Google browser now. So there were conflicts between Microsoft Edge Google browser and the regular Google Chrome browser that I was using. So once I got rid of Google Chrome, just uninstalled it completely, and now just using the Windows 10 Microsoft Edge Google browser on Microsoft Edge, it's been working fine. So hopefully I won't have a problem losing any of my videos from now on, I hope. I can't afford to lose any more videos. I mean, that was one of the best lives I had done. And I lost it yesterday because of that Google Chrome. So, well, I move it and then I don't straighten the thing up. There. And that was probably the reason I was having such a hard time uploading videos, was because of that older version of Google Chrome that I had. But like I said, since I uninstalled it, got rid of that Google Chrome, and now I'm just using Windows Edge, the Microsoft Google, it's been working fine yesterday afternoon and last night. So we'll see what happened when I upload this video today. See how long it takes. Got something stuck on the bottom of my feet, my shoes. Whew. It's hot, y'all, hot. It's not even hardly mid-morning yet. Somebody's showing off with their vehicle this morning. Had to gun it a little bit. Heard all kind of crows when I went in the backyard first thing this morning. Yeah, when I first looked over there and saw that dumpster out beside the street to be picked up, I got to thinking, well, did I forget to put my trash out? But then I realized, hey, yesterday was Father's Day. This is Monday. I don't put my garbage can out till Tuesday evening, because I never know what time Wednesday they're going to pick up. So I put my garbage out on Tuesday late. Sometimes it's Tuesday night before I think to put it out. But at least that way I know it's out there early Wednesday morning, so no matter what time they come, my garbage is out there to be picked up. Don't have to worry about it. Well, my plants are trying to bloom in my rock garden, but it's been so hot, a lot of them have not even come up. We just didn't get the rain this time of year we got last year and the year before, even though it got extremely hot afterwards. So, but they're there, they're bulbs, and you know, they'll come up whenever they get enough rain to come up. Whew. Y'all had your coffee this morning? Go get you a cup of coffee and come sit with me. Little buddy says I'll prefer to lay down and cool off and be with you. Yeah, one of my viewers in chat the other day said, that's an awfully big coffee cup. I said, I agree, but if I fix this full of coffee in the morning, then I don't drink any more after that. This is my first and my second cup, all in one utensil, or what do you call it? In one cup. My first and second cup of coffee. Yeah, I just like to sit out here sometimes and sit in the shade and just listen to the nature around me. Listen to all the birds. You can hear the chatter of the squirrels. You can hear the squawking of the crows. It's like nature is playing a song for us. And we didn't get the rain that we were promised. You know, I was out putting insecticides in my garden, and we had like 46% chance to rain. And it did sprinkle. I mean, a couple of drops dropped on me while I was putting the insecticide out. But then it stopped just as quick as it started. It didn't even get anything wet. And that's all we got. No rain at all. Look at him. He's showing off in front of the camera. He knows everybody's watching him. Yeah, he knows everybody's watching him. Little buddy's something else. Yeah, I couldn't believe it. In my live day before yesterday, I got my first super chat. Oh my goodness, you can't imagine how good I felt when I saw that pop up. First super chat I've ever gotten. Of course, I haven't been live that many times, so. But it was so neat to have a super chat. One of my neighbors over there across on the other street sounds like mowing their yard this morning. Thank goodness mine is mowed. It's not going to have to be mowed for a while now. It's done. Don't have to worry about it. What you over here for? How come you're not still over there cooling off in front of the camera? Huh? You'd rather come over here and get me to pet on you? Huh? You'd rather come over here and get me to pet on you? You got stickeroos in you again. Yeah, you got stickeroos in you again. Yeah, so if any of you people out there watched my video where I was using the insecticide and told you how good it worked, you know, at least the Bear brand worked tremendously for me. And I couldn't believe they discontinued it. But when I found this, I was just tickled to death. I said, well, I got to tell people about it. I got to show them too that it works. Because if that poison was going to kill my plants, they'd be dead. I mean, they'd be drooped over, fell over. Because it's been long enough since I watered them with that insecticide that if it was going to affect them as far as killing them, they would be dead already. But they're not, so. And they look like they're going to thrive since I put that on there. I wanted you to see where little Buddy is. He's up there eating some more of his breakfast, if you can see him up there on the porch. Way back over there. I never get the camera straight. Yeah, he's coming. But he probably won't get in front of the camera now, since I moved it. Yeah, I made the video because I wanted people to see, and I was going to give the video like I'm doing now a day or so later to let you see that it's not going to kill your vegetable plants. It's only going to help them. If you mix it according to the directions and water your plants with it, it's only going to help those plants. And that's one reason I wanted to do the video this morning, to show you how well the plants are still doing even after I watered every one of them with that insecticide. So if you have any doubts, let me move the camera back because he's down here. Because everybody wants to see little Buddy. Yeah, if anybody had any doubts about using that insecticide, I hope I showed you this morning that got an ant bite. It rubs on the little piece of my flip-flop and it hurts. Now where are you going? I got the camera on you, so now you're going to move. Now you're going to move since I moved the camera. Come back over here and lay back down. You're back over here so they can see you. Yeah, people want to see you. I'd brush you, but I left the brush in the house. I'd have to go back in the house and get it. Yeah. I'd have to go back in the house and get it. Yeah, and as many plants as I've got, I mean, I didn't get them on my flowers out here in the rock garden or the rose bushes out here. I don't think they really need the insecticide. Probably wouldn't hurt. But I've got enough left in that container to at least water them one more time. And I mean every bit of my vegetable garden with that insecticide. So for $17, $18 to water your whole garden and save your vegetable plants so you can harvest the fruit instead of the bugs and the worms harvesting it, I think is well worth the $18 that you spend. Because like I said, I can treat my garden another time with it. There was enough in there that I completely watered all my vegetable plants with it and only used half of what was in that container. Because you use such a little amount to a watering can of water. So it goes a long way. My first impression when I look at the size of the container, I see the price, I say, oh my God, that's expensive. How could I afford that? But when you realize it's only going to take about half of that container when it's mixed with water to water your whole garden and save your plants, and they'll thrive from now on because the bugs won't be draining the nutrients out of the soil and their roots to kill them, to hinder them from growing and producing. So to me, it's well worth the money spent if you have the money at all. So at this point, yes, I would definitely advise anybody to use that insecticide on their garden. And it's not going to hurt you. If you wait a few days after you water, let that insecticide do its thing, it kind of wears off of the plant. It's not in the fruit. You can go ahead and harvest your fruit, eat it, no problem. Ain't that right, little buddy? Ain't that right, little buddy? Huh? Ain't that right? Ooh, that little bit of breeze feels so good. Yeah, that little bit of breeze feels so good. You gonna get up on the table? Huh? Are you gonna get up on the table now? You gonna get up on the table, huh? He's a sweetheart. Yeah, he's a sweetheart. He definitely is a sweetheart. Yes, he is. You're a YouTube star. Did you know that, little buddy? Huh? You know you're a YouTube star. People ask to see you. They all want to ask if you're all right, if you're still around. And yes, he most definitely is still around, and he is perfectly fine. Like I said, we had another cat came up the other night. They sounded like they were trying to get in a fight together, and I know how dangerous cats can be fighting with one another with those sharp claws. So I opened my front door, and there was little buddy, and that other cat was just off the porch somewhere. So I let him in the house, and I let him stay in the house for a little while. Well, I let him stay in there as long as he wanted, because I didn't want him to get in a fight with that cat, and maybe that cat tear him open or something. So I let him stay in there till later he decided he wanted to go back out. And then I let him back out, and of course by then the cat was gone. So he didn't have to worry about getting in a scrap or scrape with that cat anymore. So he's fine. He is fine, and he is something else. And you probably can't see all of him. I think you can see his tail swishing back and forth because he's gotten too close to the camera. But every time I move the camera, he moves. So by the time I get up and move the camera again, he'll move. He'll move somewhere else. So he's just a little sweetheart. That's what he is. Yeah, he's a little sweetheart. He's a little buddy. I never really thought I'd like to have a privacy fence around my yard, but I'm almost coming to the conclusion I wish they had the back of the yard behind the shed cleared out and leveled, and so I could put a few more totes and buckets back there and had it fenced in with a privacy fence. But I don't have the money right now to do that. Maybe in the future. That way nobody could fuss about seeing my buckets and totes. I mean, all of it's in the backyard. You don't see it from the front yard anyway. And I don't have any neighbors directly behind me. So that lot is empty, and it's just got trees on it, underbrush. But one day, I'd love to have chickens. My son just got 8 chickens to put in his new chicken coop. And he told me, he said, "Mom, next time you come, bring you a couple of egg cartons and get you some eggs." I said, okay. Well, I think I've only got 1 carton because I went to the store and bought some eggs, and I got rid of, I only put 1 carton in the refrigerator because I had room in the door. You know how you put your eggs in those little slots? I put all of them up there that would go, and I threw that carton away because I didn't think I'd ever need it. I don't usually use egg cartons after I get the eggs out of them. So at least I got 1 egg carton the next time I go over. Getting fresh eggs right out of the chicken coop is going to be a different thing for me. I mean, I used to love it because my grandmama had chickens, and we got eggs from her all the time. But, that was years ago. trying to get little buddy there. Don't matter if you look at me or not. I want you to see little buddy. Yeah, we used to love getting fresh eggs. I mean, that was a treat. You knew where the eggs came from. You knew what the chickens were fed. You knew how old or how new the eggs were. So yeah, it'd be a treat getting some fresh eggs. Little buddy says, well, I could care less. He said, I don't eat boiled eggs anyway. Or he don't eat eggs. Or I don't think he does. I don't think I've ever given him a scrambled egg. I don't know if he'd eat it or not. Next time I fix scrambled eggs, I'll have to take a spoonful of them and put them out and see if he'll eat them. See what his reaction to them is. And he got that loafing shed for the cows and horses. And they're nice. I mean, well, he's got nice properties. He's got a good paying job. I never had a good paying job like that. I've always had to scrimp and save. And I know people even that make a good income, they get themselves in a situation to where they're still scrimping and saving because they usually have such high bills on them for the stuff that they acquire with that high income that it's still just about as hard for them to pay bills as it is for me. Only it's on a larger scale for them. I said, I don't know how I ever did it when my kids were young. How I made a house payment and a car payment, plus paying all my utilities, groceries, insurances, and stuff my kids needed for school. That type of thing on the income I had. Everything I got is paid for right now, and I still can't make ends meet. I mean, the cost of living has went up so much. And I got the renewal for my house insurance. It's went up almost $400 for the year. It's right at $1,200 for the year now on my little old house. And it don't pay that big a premium if my house was to burn down. It definitely would not replace it. But they're the only company around that would insure a mobile home unless it was a new one. I mean, I can't tell you how many phone calls I made when I first bought this place. Nobody would insure a mobile home that was a few years old. They would only insure a brand new one. But I finally found the company that's got it insured now, and they said, well, we found if a mobile home has been there as long as yours has, it ain't going nowhere, so we don't mind at all insuring it. And they've had my house insured ever since the day I bought it. But I tell you, it's getting so expensive. If I don't start bringing in some more money, I'm not going to be able to pay for the house insurance. I mean, the insurance on my mom's 2-story house was, what, $1,800 a year for about $40,000 in coverage. And mine's almost $1,200 a year for what little measly amount that it's insured for. I wanted to raise the premium and have it covered for more money, actually for what it's worth, but I couldn't afford to pay for it. But it's getting now to where I can't afford to pay for it on the low amount that it's insured for, so I don't know. Thank God my car's paid for. I have all I can do to make car insurance payments, house insurance payments, utilities, gas. Oh yeah, as much gas as they put in my tank. I think it was like 250 gallons at $2.25 per gallon or $2.26 per gallon. It's about $450. They haven't sent me the bill yet, and I went online to the website to pay it the other day, and they haven't entered it in the system, so I can't pay it. And you're supposed to pay it within 30 days or they'll charge you late fees or something. But, you know, hey, if they don't enter it in the system, you can't pay it, can you? So, I don't know. Little buddy says, I'll just roll over and take another nap. That's what I think about all that. He don't worry about nothing except where his next meal's coming from. And I don't think he really worries about that. Do you, little buddy? You know you'll get it somewhere. Yeah, he knows he'll get it somewhere. The mosquitoes are starting around here. I mean, with no rain, you wouldn't think we'd have mosquitoes. And I don't let water stand anywhere. Even in those overflow buckets, you know, that I've got in my totes. So when you water them, if it gets a little bit too much water, the excess water and compost tea will run out in the spout and go in those little buckets. I keep those empty too. I empty them in the 5-gallon buckets and cover them so they can't cause mosquitoes. I mean, I've only seen 1 or 2, so they're not that bad. But I think just a little bit of dew falling at night that gets on a tree leaf, I think those darn mosquitoes can breed right on a leaf in that little drop of water. It's crazy. Little buddy says, I could care less about mosquitoes. He's something else. Such a sweetheart. Such a sweetheart. They're still mowing away over there. I don't know what they're mowing, but I wouldn't have thought their yard was that big. But hey, who can say anything? It took me most of the day, all day long, to mow my yard, because I had to keep stopping. It was so hot. I need I need to put water in my bird baths. I know the water in my bird baths has just evaporated. I mean, you can't hardly keep water in it in the summer. It's so hot. It evaporates so fast. You have to fill them up just about every day. He said, that's what I think about all that. I'll just roll over. Says, I'll just roll over and just forget about it and enjoy my nap. I hear the crickets. Man, to hear them, you'd think they were big as an elephant. I mean, just listen to that. That's crickets, y'all. I'm pretty sure that microphone is picking it up. Sounds like you in the Amazon hearing those crickets that loud. Isn't that something? See how long I've been on here. I don't want to keep y'all all day. Almost an hour. But see, my garden, my rose bushes, those little rose bushes we put out here, they're blooming again. They'll bloom off and on all summer. As soon as one rose dies, it'll put out another bud and bloom some more. That's what I like about the knockout roses. They keep blooming. Look at him. He is something else. He's a ham for the camera, isn't he? He knows people love him. Yeah, he knows people love him. It'd be so incredible if he could speak. I wonder what he'd say to us. What do y'all reckon little buddy would say to us if he could talk? Just listen. Those crickets. Well, I don't want to take up everybody's time, so we've been on here long enough. I showed you what I wanted to. I told you about my insecticide. Listen to those crickets. They sound like they're getting closer. So I'm going to go ahead and close for now. Please like, share, and subscribe to my videos. Y'all have a blessed day, and I'll see you on my next one. Bye now.